I'm going to take your fluency test. Let us see whether you're fluent or not. If in future, if you doubt your fluency, then this test is, I think this is the best test you can ever give. You don't need any IELTS or TOEFL test. This test is sufficient. You don't need any teacher to judge you. You can judge yourself. You can judge whether you are really fluent or not. So here are some of the important criteria which you can consider if you feel like you are fluent or not fluent. Come on, jump in and see. The first important point is this. If you are speaking spontaneously without translation, you are considered as fluent. If you are speaking spontaneously without translation, without translating your Hindi to English or whatever regional language to English, if you are not doing that and you are just speaking spontaneously without thinking about what I'm going to speak, how I'm going to construct sentences, whether my sentence is right or wrong, if you are doing it spontaneously, you are fluent. First point. Got it? Now the second point. If you are speaking and while speaking, you can figure out, you can figure out, forget other people, that you have made a mistake, you have made a grammatical mistake, then definitely you can assume that you are good in communication, you're fluent in English. See, while speaking, you have that feel that, oh, I made a mistake. That feel you have in your mother tongue. When you're speaking in your mother tongue, and if you say something wrong, you can figure it out. You can recognize that. Same thing here also. While speaking, if you feel, no, not like this. This is a better way. When you can figure out, when you have that internal software, that mechanism is there, which will tell you, that inner voice is that, hey, wrong. There should be a bulb which goes, wrong. Then you are fluent. Now, while speaking, if you do not have variety of words if you're not using, and if you're using the same words to express your same feeling, I'm not saying that you should have 4, 5, 6 synonyms. So if you are just having some limited stock of vocabulary with you, then you need to work on. Then you are not fluent. But if you have multiple vocabulary, if you have vocabulary, then that vocabulary just pops out of your mouth easily without any efforts. You don't need to stammer and stutter and think about, then you are fluent. Got it? Now, one important criteria. If you can speak in canteen with your friend easily, continuously, without any hesitation, without any stammering, you are fluent. Many people, technically, they can give a good talk. Technically, they are very sound. When they go on the stage, when they're giving a presentation, they are superb. But when it comes to talking about everyday things, talking about food and talking about friendships and talking about politics and talking about travel, everyday words, everyday conversations, they get stuck. But if you can talk about everyday issues very easily, you are fluent. You can consider yourself fluent. When you start speaking without thinking and worrying about grammar, without pausing and checking your sentence in your head, then you are considered as fluent. Getting my point? When you are just spontaneously talking, when you're speaking without worrying about that grammar, whether you're making right sentence or not, but you are just spontaneously speaking, then it means you are fluent and you are natural now. Now you are getting better and better and better. At that point, at that juncture, you have to assume that, yes, I have nailed it. Now I'm good. Now I'm fluent. Now it is very weird, huh? When you're speaking English and then when you are speaking in your mother tongue, jumping from English to mother tongue becomes difficult. When you are very comfortable with your English, and when it comes to mother tongue, then you feel a bit awkward to talk. Now you have to compose yourself, get yourself back, and then you have to, yes, I will talk in my mother tongue. When this is happening with you, when you are more comfortable with English and the transition from English to mother tongue is a bit hard, you're fluent. You're very fluent. No need to worry about. Now, one day I was delivering a seminar And of course it was in English. I cracked a joke and no one laughed. No. There was no fault in my joke. My joke was very funny. But audience couldn't understand. Well, this is the point. If you understand jokes in English, and if you laugh, and if you really laugh, some people pretend to laugh and they want to show that they have understood the joke, but they haven't understood. So when you laugh, you understood the joke. It means you are fluent in English. One more criteria is there. When people stop and say, hey, hang on, wait. Your communication is really good. This is not said by one or two people. When frequently, at least one person, when you go out somewhere to other organizations, to other places, and when someone listens to your English and says that your English is good, your communications are improving, I mean, they're really nice. When someone compliments, the person can be native or non-native, you are fluent. And here, most important, the native person. If a native person is saying that you are good, it means you are fluent. Another criteria is there. When you are speaking confidently, without worrying about mistakes, errors, and when you're focusing on delivering your message, but you are not focusing on English, you're not worried about words, sentences, just you're focused on delivering the message, that means you have reached that point. You have reached that destination of fluency. Now, no need to worry about. While speaking, when you get stuck, yes, fluent people also get stuck, but the time of recovery is quick. In like, when you get stuck, what happens non-fluent? When they get stuck, they panic. Fluent people don't panic. When they get stuck, they use some fillers like, yeah. And then they quickly recover. That's the factor. The factor is, you get stuck. That's not the problem. Native speakers also get stuck. But when you recover quickly, that's the important factor. Then you are good in communication. Then you are fluent in English. If you can speak continuously for 1 to 2, 3 hours, and on general topic, and you don't change your track from your English to your regional language, you can easily converse with a person. For example, you're traveling in train and you can converse with that person for 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, easily in English. You are fluent. Means what? Fluency also depends upon the duration. If you can speak continuously for a long period of time, you are fluent. You have nailed it. You have achieved it. You have hit the ball out of the park, right? This is another criteria. When you are not afraid to speak to natives, you are considered as fluent when you are not worried about fluent people calling you or native people calling you. This happens in IT field. Usually I have seen people who are working in the IT field, when there is a call or when there is a meeting, and when people from native countries, they're talking, these people have that dread, that fear, deer in the headlight is there. And they are so scared. When you are not worried about your next meeting, when you're not worried about who is the speaker, communicator, you're not worried about the fluency level he has, and when you're very comfortable, just like you're comfortable in your mother tongue, when language is not bothering you, then you are fluent. You're not worried about your English, then you are fluent. Got it? Another point, when pronunciation and accent is not your barrier, when you're not worried about accuracy, perfection, pronunciation, accent, and you are able to convey your message effortlessly. Go and see in the world, everyone has different accent, English accent. Everyone's accent is different. But you are not bothered about that. And you stay with your accent. Stay with you. I have seen people copying different accents and trying to impress. They are not fluent. They are faking. But the person who is fluent, he is comfortable with his accent. He is not worried about his accent. He is only worried or thinking about delivering the message. Then you are fluent. Yeah, and the last factor. When you can understand the subtle meaning of the sentences when a speaker is speaking, when a native person is speaking, subtle means these are the sentences which are not explicitly said. But you should be able to read between the lines. You should be able to understand what exactly he means without using the explicit words. Then you are fluent. That's all. And to achieve this, you can. It's not difficult. It's possible. But what you need is, you need to stick with one channel, one method, one strategy, and consistency. Hope you will follow that. By the way, in the comments write down which point, which factor, which criteria you liked the most? Write in the comments. I will be very eager to know that. Thank you.